Mooie zondagmiddag in het stadion. 2-0 overwinning tegen Volendam. En de dames hebben afgelopen vrijdag met 2-5 gewonnen in Zwolle. Vandaag is nog niet afgelopen. We hebben hier aan tafel Isitan Gün. En naast mij Wiebo Buurmans, mijn collega-presentator. En we gaan met Isitan eens even praten over ontwikkelingen die er gaande zijn. Ontwikkelingen die er afgelopen tijd in de pers geweest zijn. En een heleboel dingen die misschien wat opgeklopt zijn. De man die echt weet hoe het allemaal in elkaar zit. Isitan, welcome here on the table.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Welcome, Isitan.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, for being here to update the fans on some stuff what's going on.
Of course, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
We do as well.
So if we look what's going on, a lot has been written in the press already. I can imagine that this feels like a next step for your child, like going to high school. What do the new owners especially need to know about Fortuna Sittard in their next step for growing up?
That's a complicated question. First of all, they have been involved with the club since last June, I believe. So, I really appreciate they are always here for every game, home and away. They are also behind the women's team, as you know. And they are very much involved. They talk to many partners. I think they also speak to many supporters, sponsors,
yes,
etc. So, which is great. They are. I see they are very motivated. And I really think, of course, that's a good example you gave, like maybe a next step. We will have to see. Of course, they are quite ambitious, and I think we should be ambitious as a club. And they see the potential. In my view, of course, one of the most urgent priorities that we need to execute is the training complex. This is the big missing part in our club, so that's a strategic priority for us, for sure. And then we just have to, when you look at the overall picture, I think this year I think we have a very good squad for the men's team. The women's team is also good, and I think I was in the under-21 game yesterday. They beat MVV 5-0. It could have been 10-0. They didn't give out one chance, so I think good things are happening. But sportively, whatever happens, I think in the medium term, we need to get used to becoming a bit more ambitious, a bit self-confident. Actually, that's a big hurdle for us, I think.
If I can interrupt, you say it can be a big hurdle. Do you think it's a big hurdle for Fortuna as a club, or the people around it, that we are not used to being that ambitious? When you took over the club, or you became owner, and we look at where the club is right now, it's totally different. And now the next steps are coming. They're, like you said, they're really ambitious. Isn't it maybe going too fast? Is that the hurdle that you think that people need to engage in their speed?
It's of course, football is a different industry, so you need to take small steps maybe. But I'm here since 6 years now, so I don't think we went too fast. I don't think we went slow. I cannot also say that everything was planned from day one. It's you have to adapt based on what's actually happening. And I think they will also adopt the same approach. It's, of course, we now we are quite advanced in like a 5-year strategic plan. We want to finalize this and then execute it. It's, of course, internally and externally we need to communicate it extremely well. But the club culture, I think it needs to be a bit more performance oriented. Basically, this is not a charitable employment organization. I'm not saying this as a profit motivated person, but no competitive professional club should be charitable employment organizations. So if you are not performing, that includes me also. I'm not putting my side aside from this perspective. You know, we have to reward the performance and you know, part ways with the non-performance. Period. That should be the motto, and it is, I think, the motto at the moment. So we just need to hope for the good results based on this.
Yes, you're 6 years here now. Then comes Burak.
Yeah.
Then we have a change in being owner, co-owner. And then there comes in media, there comes a lot of Turkish club here and Turkish club there. And it's when somebody asks me, how is this with this club? I always say, and that's the biggest compliment I can give you, to me, Isitan is a man with a Turkish passport, but in 6 years, Isitan is a Fortinese.
I mean, I certainly feel that way, but I have to say, maybe it's not a politically correct thing to say, but I'm really surprised about how casually people can make discriminatory remarks in the Dutch media, and this is so normalized that they would, I mean, some of the things that has been said would put people unemployed for life in many other countries, in England, US, France. Here it's just like so casually you can make a discriminatory remark and everyone accepts it. Nobody even says this. I'm really, of course, the media, I'm used to being under the media attention, let's say, certainly also in Turkey, but I mean, some low punches, I cannot believe it. And it's how it easily it's accepted and it becomes normal to people. I'm still surprised.
Yeah, and it's, you know, if he mentions Burak came in, then you know that you're gonna be a bigger target where the media hits on. But I think everybody didn't expect this, what happened. Mm-hmm. Did you underestimate that? What the influence would be for having Burak on the club? Like you said, in Turkey you're used to the media, but the media in the Netherlands is completely different. I totally agree with what you said. You know,
I mean, you say they are completely different, but I think they are very similar in terms of ignorance and lack of knowledge and crazy self-confidence. I think most of the football experts in the media are only experts in being wrong and just keep going again and again as if they were never wrong in the past. It's incredible.
It's easy scoring, like we say it in Dutch.
Yeah.
It's It's. I don't think that's the culture that we have in our club, and I don't think that's to be honest.
No, it isn't. I mean, I think
it's not fair at all.
It's not fair. It's never fair with the media. I think it's. But I mean, we cannot complain. And to be honest, when we are taking a decision, we cannot make our decision based on what the media will say. Because I mean, with all respect, I don't respect 90% of the media globally, not only in this country, but I think because I believe about, in accountability. If you are making a comment and that the consequence of that comment doesn't affect you, then I don't listen to that comment. You know, like you have to be affected by that decision. So by definition, most of the media is like this. It's easy to just sit on. I mean, there are people who are doers, and then there are people who are criticizers. So, I mean, there are extremely intelligent and intellectual people who I respect a lot, but the vast majority is, I think, I just ignore them.
Okay, but a nice Sunday, as I said, we have in 3 games, we have 7 points. Isn't that the best way to let them know that we are here?
Trust me, I keep an archive of It's a personal hobby, but I keep an archive of all the preseason predictions from these football experts, and it's incredible. You know, I've been in finance. If you are making some estimates about what, let's say, the production PPI number will come, and you are consistently wrong, then someone in your organization says, "What the hell are you talking about?" These people are repeatedly wrong every single year, and then I wouldn't make a prediction. You know, I would say, you know, I was wrong 5 years in a row. Let me not do a prediction. No, nobody brings to their attention, hey, you know what? This is what you predicted last time, and this is actually what happened. Can you explain? These questions are never asked. So I find this a ridiculous situation. But coming to this season, I think we have it's certainly the best squad we had in my 6 years.
I think as well.
By far. And yeah, that quality of the squad, I hope, will be reflected in the results. Today what I saw as a team chemistry, the motivation and the physical condition, I must also add, was the best so far in the season.
Yeah, good. Talking about the changes, sitting on the opposite of you, I still see the same fire in your eyes and enthusiasm as 6 years ago. I think some people are maybe afraid with the takeover that your role is being different. We heard in the fancast that Attila explicitly mentioned that that's not going to change, and we're happy about that. But how do you feel that?
I mean, I have only one priority. That's the performance of the club on and off the field. So that's my motivation. I don't care how much percentage of shares I have under my name. As long as I'm given a task, I will do it, and I think we will. No, honestly, we are really looking alike. We have the same perspective, and I hope to, of course, continue my role, contribute to the success of the club. That's the only motivation I have.
It's good news, at least.
I hope so.
No. But as I said, still the sparkle in your eyes. So we heard Attila say as well, he fell in love with Fortuna in 1 year. Yeah. You did that the same. We talked about maybe not going too fast, but I think this is not the first time that we have to speed up. When you came in, you had a plan, but we promoted pretty early, earlier as expected, to the Eredivisie. So I think we're not we're familiar with switching to the next gear.
Yes, that's true. But also, if you are constantly out of your comfort zone, then you don't have a comfort zone anymore. So that may be a problem. But I mean, in terms of ambitions, I mean, I have to talk about the numbers, of course. Financially, we have to do better. That's a fact. But if you want to remain competitive, I think overall we don't have a cost problem, but we have a revenue challenge. So the way to address this issue is to increase our revenues, and I think we made a lot of progress. Of course, I had projected to reach a turnover of 15 million by 2024 to 25. Right now we are getting close to that, but I think with the coming in of Attila and Umut, I think we can set our eyes on a higher number, which will mean, I mean, of course, as I said, the training complex, maybe improve the fan experience during the games, and of course to have a competitive squad every year. That's the objective.
Yeah, because there are a lot of opportunities coming on, you know, with the Principian and their online activities. Yeah. There's a big opportunity to gain money and sponsorships. But I think also with starting the women's football, there's an opportunity as well.
Yeah, no, I think the women's football, I am a huge believer in it. And the team, I don't know if you watch the games, but they play amazing. A lot of fun. to watch, but it also opens up few other advantages. Number one, of course, the exposure and the recognition, and number two, attached to it, of course, the commercial opportunities. So I think all the, let's say, smart clubs are moving into this field. It also promotes, and not promotes, but enhances, I think, your relationship with the community, especially in the young teams of the women's side. No, I think it will also help us a lot.
Yes, I was here last game. It was very, very nice to see. It was a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I hope more supporters will come to the stadium to see this women's football.
For sure, yeah, I think so. I mean, if they reach a European ticket or something like this, not maybe in the first year, but we can do it.
Yeah, and then the training complex. That was one of the I say the pillars you had when you started Youth Academy own training complex. That hasn't been reached yet.
Yes.
I think because of some circumstances, location and stuff like that. Why do you think that we can reach it now, what you could not reach until now?
I mean, I think the number one obstacle against doing this was some, as you said, like things out of our control, such as the complex, or the location, permission, etc., etc. So it's still complicated, but at the moment we see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think the situation is being solved. Our plans are clear. We had already prepared an architectural design, maybe almost a year ago, a very ambitious complex. We have to adjust that based on the current situation about locations, area, size, etc., etc. But we've been ready for some time, actually. But it's they're quite slow to actually get some accommodation and the place where you can actually build that complex. But I mean, this is something that bothers me all the time, that we don't have our own complex. But we have to solve this. We will solve this for sure. But the timing is now good because there is they foresee a solution now in the area, and we presented our intention. They are very happy to have us there. So now will be hopefully that it becomes more concrete. We revise the plans and hopefully start building.
That's good news.
I think it's yeah. If we do this, then I think yeah, you know, this is a missing link in the chain at the moment when you look at the club from a distance. But that will be a major step. Yeah.
That's good news. Good to hear.
Good to hear. Yes, of course.
Are there any plans with opportunities? We talked about it yesterday. We see a lot of clubs who don't only play football, but they link basketball and hockey and other stuff. Is that anything which is an idea in your plans?
I mean, my knee-jerk reaction is no, but because I was running some non-football branches at Galatasaray, and it's very difficult because at least in football you can monetize some of the exposure. For example, in Turkey, basketball is very big and successful. However, still, if you have a competitive basketball branch, you need a budget of, let's say, I mean, if you want to play in the Euro Cup, I think you need a budget of minimum 20 million euros, let's say, for the team. And there is no, even if you win the Euro Cup, you get like a financial reward of 1.5, 2 million euros, etc. So it's like you have to subsidize it. Basically, all non-football branches are very just cost centers. But having said that, on the positive side, of course, they really strengthen your relationship with the community, a lot of families, younger kids, etc., etc. So it has pluses and minuses. But which sport do you think it can be possible? I don't know.
I think possibly it could be handball because of here
Lions,
the Lions. That's they play on a certain level that's similar to what we do. That might be. Basketball is too small in Holland, I think.
Yeah.
First things first. First getting the football where we want to have it, because the ambition is let's say top 8, I think, because that's the ambition for getting to the playoffs for European football. Top
For
8,
women's?
top 9. No, for the men as
For,
well.
I mean, for this season, I don't know. I never give.
No, but in the
specific
5 year
targets.
in the 5 years
of course,
plan, I
of
mean.
course, yes, yeah. I mean, we have to be at least on the left side of the table. But one other problem with these what we called amateur branches, like basketball, handball, volleyball, etc. The problem is it's easy to start those branches, but it's impossible to close them once it's up and running, because for every branch you need the first team, the youth teams, boys, girls, etc. So it becomes a huge community. And then if you say, okay, this is too much bleeding, we need to stop this XYZ branch, then it becomes a very difficult operation. So you have to be very careful. It's like a one-way street.
One-way street. Okay. It's
Let's-
a good plan
let's
to
talk
think
the
out of the
football.
box, but let's stick at what we're good at. Let's stick at football.
Football, yeah.
Yeah, and then you talked about the ambition with the women's football. Are there plans to also go into a youth academy there? Because
Yes, I think now we have one younger
have two
team.
teams, yeah.
So I think the idea is to slowly. I mean, I need to talk to Bo. I'm not very informed about all the details, but I think every year we need to expand it a little bit until a certain age, and then it will be like the men's operation. So it's great, I think, but it will take time.
it will take time, yeah, and that's what we see with the youth academy as well. You mentioned the U21 won with 5-0 yesterday.
Yeah.
And looking at the results of the youth academy, they're growing as well on
This
a
is,
level.
Yes, I mean, by the end of last season, we sat down, and for the first time, I think in my 6 years at least, we said, okay, we have to be ambitious. These are specific targets for each team because they play in 2 lower levels. So we need to bring up at least this number of teams in the higher division this season, etc., etc. And at the end of 5 years, let's say we want X number of teams in the best possible level, and so on. And this is also, I think, was the first time we communicated this also to the coaches. This is what we expect from you. If it doesn't work, we have to find a solution. So we need to be very clear about the objectives. It's not like you have just a license and you feel entitled to train a youth team at a professional club. That is not the situation, and I'm really happy I stay quite involved with the youth academy this year. I'm very happy that it's the communication is much better, the organization is better. We are happy.
There's revenue to get as well from your youth academy. You know, if
Yes
you,
and
if you
no,
bring
but yeah.
players to the first squad.
Of course,
in the
yeah,
end,
yeah.
that's where
No,
you
I
can
mean,
make the money as well.
and the good thing is, like yesterday, I was in the under-21 game. I didn't know, but Julio was there. His whole staff was there. I mean, that's for me, and I didn't know he was going to visit the game. But for me, it's a wonderful signal that your head coach is actually paying attention to what can be coming in the next years.
Of course.
Rarely seen this in the past.
Another good thing is, of course, having Bryant Kneeling now in the selection of this coming from the youth academy.
Yes, we've been following him for the last 2-3 years. he had that potential, and this year is the step. But with this under 21 team, of course, it's a technical decision. I don't, but I think there are few guys who can maybe next year we can see in the same situation with Bryant.
That would be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Let's talk a bit about the history and DNA. Are you afraid that the DNA of Fortuna will fade out a bit, or is that one of your points where you say, okay, this is the DNA, and then what is, in your opinion, the DNA of Fortuna, or what does Fortuna stand for? And is that something that you said to Attila and
Of
Umut?
course, yes. I think they are very well aware of this. But I mean, what can distort a DNA? I'm not a biologist, but I think you need to have some artificial or toxic or some unnatural injections inside the system. Then it can maybe alter your DNA at one point. And I mean, honestly, I don't think that is going to be the case because it's very hard to change, even if you want to change the DNAs of the of clubs as social institutions. And what we discussed also with Attila is, you know, I said this on TV, I think last week also, I don't believe in club ownership, although I'm a club owner. We are just custodians of these organizations for the future. We have to protect that DNA instead of trying to change it, except for, of course, changing the culture in a good way, hopefully. So, I mean, what is the DNA of that, of this club? Then we need to discuss this. Of course, it's started locally with under certain circumstances, etc. But at the end, I always say this: we have to make our surrounding happy, keep them entertained and proud. So these are the at the base of the DNA. And whatever we do, I mean, one question, let's say maybe an elephant in the room is like, oh, they don't have too many Dutch players. Yes, we don't. I also prefer if we had played with 11 guys from Limburg. But we have to be also realistic. It's, yeah, we just have to, given your resources, you have to attack and get the best, how do you say, quality for your resources. So if it can be Dutch or whatever the nationality, of course, that is, we have to choose the rational way. And I think we are doing this. We will continue this. I mean, to be honest, I can speak for myself. I don't care what anyone thinks about this. We just have to be successful. Then, of course, when we have our facility, the academy is doing well, etc., if we can produce youth players to the first team, that's fantastic. I couldn't be happier. But if that's not the case, then I'm not going to let the sportive performance suffer just because players have this or that passport. I think it's suicidal, and I think it's ridiculous in today's world. I mean, there are few clubs in the world who are really actually constraining their selection to the local people. I think the most successful will be Bilbao, Athletic Bilbao. You know, they are very sensitive about this, let's say. And yeah, so it's very difficult. The second club I don't want to name because we played them today.
For me, it's no problem at all. For me, it's no problem at all having Dutch players, Turkish players, Spanish players, no matter what. If they are proud to wear a shirt,
absolutely, yeah.
I'm a happy supporter.
Yeah, that's also my understanding.
I think we can make a wrap up. Is there anything that you want to say to our viewers?
No, I think also the fans, the attendance levels this season has been quite good. Today I wasn't expecting a full stadium also. It was a good surprise. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I hope we will have a good season. I really believe in this. And this Interland break was very good for the team, I think. so that they get used to playing together. At the end, let's not forget there's a big change from last season to this season in terms of squad, and certain guys needed time and to play together. But in the World Cup break, I think will be also very positive for us, because that will give the team a lot of time together and preparation time together. So it's I'm really positive about the season, but this is football. You'll never know.
You never know, you never know. Nee, het was inderdaad een mooie zondag. Ik dank Izitan Gun. Izitan, thank you for having you here and telling all those things. Wibo, dank je voor de ondersteuning. Mijn Engels is niet zo goed, dat is voor jou wat beter, dus hartstikke mooi.
Graag gedaan, joh.
Ik wil graag afsluiten. Dit was een mooie zondag. 2-0 overwinning tegen Volendam. 7 punten uit 3 wedstrijden. En er gaat nog heel veel moois gebeuren dit seizoen. Dank jullie wel voor het kijken.